What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. Well, at this point, the Lakers are officially eliminated from any playoff contention. They lost last night against the Phoenix Suns, 121-110. Anthony Davis did have 21 and 13. Russell Westbrook did have 28. LeBron James didn't play once again, bothered by the ankle injury and maybe other injuries that we don't know about. But for the most part, I mean, it's been, a crazy season for the Lakers. You can always ask yourself what happened, what went wrong, where did it all go wrong? To me, it all went wrong when they got Russell Westbrook. And I'm not saying Russell Westbrook is the worst player in the world, because he's not even close to being the worst player in the world. He's just the worst fit in the world for the Lakers, because they're trying to win championships, and he's not a winner. He's a stat pattern. He's good at getting his stats. He's good at getting, triple doubles, things like that. But when it comes to winning, it's just not a part of his DNA, because he's been played with multiple superstars and none of them could win with him. He didn't play with, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Paul George, now LeBron and AD. And he still hasn't found his way to even, get a championship. And when you play with players like that, I mean, you got to understand, you're playing with top of the level talent. You're not playing with you and a bunch of role players or something like that and winning a championship, or, trying to win a championship. You're playing with the top players in the league, or you have, and you found ways to screw it up by not helping the team to win. And Kevin Durant said it a long time ago. He liked Russell Westbrook. He really do, but he can't win championships with him. It's just something about Russell's game and the way he plays where he just doesn't, put the team over the top. He could shoot threes too much, and he's not a good shooter, and he can, make bad decisions at times where it hurts the team and it costs the team games where they can possibly win. But at the same time, like I said, I don't want to put it all on him, because LeBron chose him to come there. LeBron wanted to make that project work. And LeBron knew if he made that work and won a championship with Russell Westbrook, it's like, in his mind, that would, put another notch on his belt in regards to being the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? So just, being able to, make players who are not championship contender level, or championship minded players, make other players good enough to win championships when nobody else can. And that was the project I think he felt like he can do with Russell Westbrook. But as he see, it's just not possible, because Russ just doesn't have that motor in him, that drive in him to win. He just doesn't. He has that drive in himself to, pad his stats, play his game, go home, be the man he wants to be, and treat basketball more like a job rather than a career. You see what I'm saying? So when you have that type of mentality, you're probably not going to win. And then on top of that, like I said, it's not all his fault, because you got other things that play into factor. LeBron, suffering through knick-knack injuries throughout the season. Couldn't really stay healthy that good. I mean, for the most part, he stayed, healthy throughout the season for the most part. But, I mean, he still had some injuries himself. Never really, got into, a rhythm in regards to, just playing, a lot of games with consistency and being able to carry the team with consistency as he used to. He never got into that rhythm, and I personally think he's not going to get into that rhythm no time soon, because I think those days are over with for LeBron about carrying a team and all that type of stuff. I think he could put up good numbers, but I feel like, in order for the Lakers to win, he's going to have to be out there and average about 20 points a game, 23 points a game with about 10 assists, something like that, and I feel like that can help the Lakers play a little bit better, because because I feel like LeBron has to reach out to his team and let them know, he's older. He can't carry a team no more. So he needs to be the second leading scorer, averaging about 23, 25. Anthony Davis need to be the number one scorer. And I feel like that would have helped their season some. But I mean, of course, I don't think it would have helped it a lot because Anthony Davis just doesn't stay healthy enough to really give the keys to him, give the city to him because, he's just not, I don't know, like even when he's healthy, Anthony Davis just doesn't have that dog mentality to me. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that go-getter mentality. When I look at Giannis don't have the best jump shot in the world, and all that stuff. But Giannis is such a dog when he plays because he plays hard on both ends and he affects the game on both ends of the floor. And he just looks dominant. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when you look at players like Karl Anthony Towns is starting to play more dominant. You know what I'm saying? Of course they got talent. They're in the NBA. Of course they got talent. Anthony Davis got plenty of talent. But if you don't play with that dog, fierce mentality, I just feel like you being, one of those type of players, those upper tier players, the top 2, top 3 players in the world is not going to be, on your radar. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to dominate the game like that because you don't have the mentality. You got the talent to do so, but without the mentality, it doesn't equate. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't build up. Like I said, they won that championship in the bubble because of those, because of the 4-month layoff and everything kind of played in their favor. And they was the only team in the bubble, I think, that wanted to be there compared to all the reports that we heard that no other team wanted to be there besides them, simply because LeBron knew he was getting old. And on top of that, Anthony Davis being injury prone like he is, that's the best time for him to actually shine. And he did because, like I said, with the 4-month layoff and everything, with the Kobe Bryant thing happening, all that, and LeBron getting older, trying to get a championship before he leaves the game, I mean, it all worked out for them. But after the bubble, after that little, stint there, they haven't looked that good since. And when you look at this team, yeah, they got a lot of good pieces, a lot of, high profile names on the team, but it's just not good enough to win because none of those guys, for the most part, except maybe a few, play defense. Avery Bradley used to play defense pretty good, Trevor Ariza, but those guys are older now. You know what I'm saying? They've been in the league 10 plus years. So it's like when you look at players like that, yeah, they had a reputation for defense, but now they don't. That's the reason why the Lakers couldn't win anything, because they couldn't stop anybody. They had no defense at all. And the defense was just playing, piss poor every game. And every game they would just get blown out, or either they would get a lead by 25 plus points and find a way to lose it because they just couldn't sustain any lead because they couldn't stop anybody from getting what they want on the offensive end, which is the opposing team. And that's bad for the Lakers because when you think about, what they're trying to accomplish, what everybody was saying before the season started, they're going to be in the finals, they're going to win the finals. It was too much pressure for a team who doesn't play defense. And everybody had all these high expectations of this team, and it's all a bust. It's all a waste. Now they're eliminated. Now it's finger pointing. Now they still, are trying to get rid of Russell Westbrook, but I don't think they can because his contract is so high. I mean, he's owed like $40-something million, just this season, I believe. I don't think nobody's going to take on that contract. Nobody that's a contender anyway. So, honestly, they should have just left him probably in D.C. where he was with the Wizards and kept what they had and tried to go after somebody else. I definitely thought Buddy Hield was a better pickup for them back then if they were able to get him, but they weren't, or they didn't. So that was a mistake on their part. And now, like I said, everybody's just finger pointing at the Lakers. It's Frankie V's fault. It's LeBron's fault. It's Russ's fault. It's AD's fault because he can't stay healthy. Like I said, it's a lot of finger pointing, a lot of all that, and right now, when you think about the way everything is trickling down for the Lakers, being eliminated from the play-in tournament looks really bad. It looks really bad on LeBron's legacy a little bit, if you ask me, because the scoring title and all that's going to come, the accomplishment of, him playing all this long, putting up all those points this year, some people want him in an MVP conversation. People, he definitely probably might win the scoring title, possibly, but all that equates to nothing when you don't win. When you wear the purple and gold, it's about winning championships. It's not about winning any personal or individual accolades. Those don't make a difference when you're trying to win a championship and when you wear the purple and gold. And I feel like, that got mixed up somewhere in the shuffle, and the Lakers just aren't good. They just aren't good. And I don't expect them to be good next year if they keep the same team. I just don't, because like I said, Anthony Davis just can't be relied upon simply because of injuries. And Russell Westbrook is, trying to fit in and, trying to play a certain way, but it really just doesn't fit his game. So it's really just a waste at this point. But, the Lakers overall, as I said before, it's definitely a bust season. LeBron had one of the best statistical seasons he's had in a long time, especially shooting from the 3-point range. But, like I said, it means nothing now. You got eliminated. And like I said, the Spurs, they don't even have DeJounte Murray, you know what I'm saying? They're finding ways to win without their best player. And he's like, not even a superstar. You see what I'm saying? And the Lakers got 2 superstars on the floor predominantly, like every night at the least. At the least, they got 2 superstars on the floor every night. And they still finding ways to lose. And they just can't seem to get out their own way. And, it's starting to show. It was starting to show earlier in the season, but now it's at the point where, it's no turning back. They're definitely eliminated from playoff contention. They can't even make the play-in tournament, which is so sad, for the city of L.A. because, the Lakers have always been the staple of L.A., in regards to, being the biggest name, because they've always won championships. So you got to give them that respect, whether you like them or hate them. But, now it's like, man, the play-in tournament, the playoffs will feel weird without the Lakers being in there. It just is. It's just going to feel very, very awkward, But at the same time, got to move on because the Lakers have to move on without getting into the tournament, and they have to move on and try to figure out what their next thrill is in regards to what they need to do with this team, break it up, or, whatever they're going to do. From the reports I've heard, they might actually try to end up keeping a lot of the same players and try to, maybe run it back. I don't personally think they should, but at the same time, if there any money type bind or anything like that, they can't get rid of Russ or anything. I definitely see why they're thinking that, but at the same time, it's a mistake if they do, because it might just be a repeat of this season all over again. And I don't know if things are going to get better in that locker room, because I just don't feel like there's enough chemistry in that locker room to go around for them to become a better team and become more solid, because they got players that just are misfits. They don't fit with each other, and they just, thought they could win off talent, but it shows you can't win off just talent. You got to have chemistry and camaraderie to win games and push yourself and propel through in this league. Talent is good, but chemistry is so much better, because chemistry builds that experience with one player to another that'll allow you to learn his game as he learns yours, and you guys evolve on the court. And that's just not something that the Lakers have done. They never evolved on the court. They never built any chemistry. They always played against one another instead of with one another. It just seemed like that on the court. It never seemed like they was together, you know what I'm saying? And now that they're eliminated, I know LeBron's going to go in this offseason and try to figure out what his next move is, but he might as well stay where he is, or, maybe go back to Cleveland or whatever. Who knows? Or maybe try to go play with Bronny if he can get into the league, which I'm not even sure he could make it in the league right now. But still, it's worth a shot, because right now, it's definitely really embarrassing, for the Lakers, but at the same time, it's reality in the same breath. So, they got to live this one down. They got to swallow this one. This one looks really bad on the organization and, just the team itself, and how they let the city down, how they let LA down, a lot of California, a lot of fans all over the world down who are Lakers fans. And it just really was a season for most to forget. And hopefully, hopefully it's a forgetful season, and hopefully they come back, next year and play at least a lot better than what they did this year, because this year was a catastrophe, and it went from bad to worse. And really, it's at its peak when it comes to being worse now, because now you're not even going to make the play-in tournament, where you have an opportunity to make it, and you was a low seed, like a 10th seed, and you couldn't even do that. So now it's like, wow, the Lakers are really trash, and there's no other way to look at it. And hey, now they're sitting at home right now, maybe ready to play the next 1 or 2 games, but they're mentally just thinking about the offseason, and that's where they should be. And hey, like I said, it's over for the Lakers. But hey, that's my take on everything. You leave any comments in the comment section as always. And hey, Khaliis out.